is Eric. I work with Forte. Today I'm going to show you a series of movements that are based around yoga. I'm not a yoga instructor, I'm a physical therapist, but I like to use these types of exercises to help people with flexibility, balance, and general strength. So we're going to get started. It's going to last about 45 minutes or so. I am barefoot. This is one of the few times that I actually go barefoot is when I do yoga-based exercises. Or when I'm teaching balance-based exercises, sometimes I go barefoot or in socks. But here we go. We're going to start off in what is called mountain pose. So we're going to put our feet as close together as possible. And I'm going to walk you through this. We're going to be here for a couple minutes, just getting you centered and balanced. So I want you to shift back onto your heels so you find that that's too far back. I want you to shift forward onto your toes so you can find that that's too far forward. And then just slowly back and forth until you find a center. And when you find that center, I want you to make sure then that you engage the floor with your toes like they're tree roots, right? The bottoms of your feet should be relatively completely in contact. You should feel equal pressure across the bottoms of both of your feet, all of them, if you have more than two, I guess. And then as we come up the chain, I want you to make sure that your knees are unlocked. So they should be soft. I want you to feel that you've got a little bit of tension in your glutes, a little bit of tension in your core muscles, so your abdominal muscles. And a lot of people will remember to do this part, but forget about the upper part. So do try to remember to engage all of that. And then arms are going to go down to your sides, palms facing forward. And what that does is it just kind of rotates the shoulder blades back a little bit, kind of helps them pull together. And then lastly, make sure you bring those ears back over your shoulders. So we're not looking up, we're not looking down. Looking straight ahead, ears over the shoulders, and we're going to remain here peacefully for about another 30 to 45 seconds. I say peacefully, but I'm going to talk. So you remain peaceful. What I want you to be focused on when you are in mountain pose, and we're going to revisit this position a lot throughout the session, is your breathing. Try to breathe in through your nose, and if you can breathe out through your nose too. But some people feel better about breathing in through their nose and out through their mouth. And for some people, it just depends on your tolerance to activity. You might have to be breathing in and out through your mouth. It just depends on how much your heart rate gets up there. So try whatever way feels best to you, but we're going to move on from here. We're going to do an upward stretch. So hands are just going to come up from our sides and reach up overhead. We're not looking up yet. As you go up, try to pull those shoulder blades back without arching your lower back. Keep everything else feeling exactly the same. Tummy's engaged, glutes engaged, toes engaged with the floor. And we're going to let the arms down and we're going to curl down toward our toes. So soften the knees, let them bend just a little around your back, going down, down, down toward the floor. If you can't touch your toes, that's fine. If you can touch your toes, that's great. It's not a measure of anything aside from just where you reach to, right? And then slowly roll back up. We're going to pause in our mountain pose. And we're going to reach up overhead again. Shoulder blades back, tummy engaged, glutes engaged. Hands come down, we're going to roll back down again toward the floor. Soften the knees, reach as far down as you can without hurting anything. Slowly rolling back up. to mountain pose. From here, we're going to step out into a warrior position out to the right. So I'm going to walk you through it. You stay here for just about another 5 seconds. So the right foot is going to step out and turns out about 90 degrees. The left foot is going to go on a 45-degree angle. We're going to turn our body facing over our right leg. Bend the right knee only as far as you feel comfortable. We're going to put the arms up and out to the sides. We're looking just straight forward. Arms are just up about shoulder height. It looks like my back is arched. That's mostly because of the rotation. You still want to keep your tummy muscles engaged. You still want to feel those oblique muscles engaged. You still want your feet to be grabbing the floor. Okay, now we're going to turn to face forward again. So both feet go facing forward. Arms are going to stay up and out to the sides if possible. We're in a bit of a star pose here. Yeah, there's so much about balance. That's why we're not moving real fast with this. All right, we're going to bring the hands straight out in front of us. We're going to hinge at our hips, dropping straight down. Spine stays straight. You should be looking down at the floor. Knees are straight but not locked. Okay, keep that spine straight. Keep looking down at the floor. If you can go down again and touch the floor, great. If you're hovering above the floor, great. You do what you can do. You're going to feel a stretch in the backs of the legs when you do this. Shift your weight just slightly forward. People tend to sit back, so make sure those toes are having to do a little bit of work here. Now, if you can, just bring the right hand up so that its palm is parallel to the floor. We're going to stay there for just a few seconds, just a slight change in position. If you feel really good about it, you can always turn that palm or that hand all the way up toward the ceiling if you're a little more advanced in your yoga practice. All right, and then we're going to bring it back down. Whole body's going to come back up, facing straight forward. We're going to step back to our mountain pose just briefly because I like stepping in to the warrior positions. The next we're going to do is warrior to the left. Okay, so now we're going to step out to the left. You can bring your foot back depending if you need to or not. You're going to face over the left. You're going to bend the left knee. You're going to bring your arms up out to your sides again. We're going to keep it relatively the same as the other side. I'm going to remind you, grab the floor with your toes. Engage your tummy. Squeeze your glutes. Make sure your front knee is not getting forward over your toes, that it's not drifting out to the side, and then it's not dropping inward. It should be staying right in line. Keep the ears as much over the shoulders as possible. As you're being mindfully also try not to let your arches collapse in your feet. If your arches are collapsing, it pulls your knees inward. All right, we're going to come back to facing forward. Arms are going to stay out to the side, so back to our star type position here. A lot of people find that it's difficult to engage their glutes without locking their knees. That's fine. I get it. Practice makes perfect. You should be able to breathe still in through your nose, out through the nose, or out through the mouth. Bring your hands straight in front of you. We're going to drop down. Again, hinge at the hips. Keep the spine straight. Now, like we did with the right side, if you want, you can bring your left hand up this time so its palm is toward the floor, just for the fun of it. Or you can bring it all the way up overhead. Again, depending on what your yoga journey is going to be like for you, what your flexibility is like. We're just changing things around here for people so that they can be in whatever position works well for them. Regardless, try to feel like you're shifting just a little forward. Make those toes work a little bit harder. Don't sit back, basically. And we're going to come back up, straight up, back to our mountain pose. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of a back and forth here. I keep looking over to my right because that's where I've got my cue sheet. We're going to do a sit back, reach back. So we're going to put the feet about your hip width apart. We're going to sit back and reach back. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see this. It's a sit back, right? So my weight is going back. I'm going to feel that a lot in my heels. I'm going to reach back with my hands. I'm going to stay facing this way for you. You can see I'm looking down toward the floor. I'm not looking forward. Still have my chin tucked so that it feels like my ears are over my shoulders. And this time when I stand up and I reach up, I am going to lean back. So I'm going to stay facing this way for you. We're going to reach up overhead. I'm going to lean back a little bit. I'm going to feel that weight in my heels again. Looking up toward the ceiling this time. Feel the weight in your heels. All right, I'm going to turn to face you again. We're going to sit back, reach back again. Watch my knees this time. My knees are going to still stay apart. I'm not allowing them to collapse. I'm not dropping them out to the sides. I'm keeping my knees apart. Now bring your head back to their right position, ears over the shoulders, looking down toward the floor. Weight in your heels. If your knees are not bent as far as mine, that's fine. If you want to be up here, if this is where you need to be, or even here for you for now, that's fine. You can lean your body, keep your weight toward your heels for the balance practice, hands out behind you, pulling you backward a little bit, okay? Now we're going to straighten up the knees, all right? We're going to bring the hands up overhead. We're going to lean back again. Now, when we lean back, for some people, that's just a smidge, okay? They're just kind of looking up and that's enough. And they feel those upper tummy muscles in particular really grabbing in and getting shaky. Other people can go a little further back. Wherever you're at in your journey, that's where you need to be. So wherever you feel like, hey, this is a struggle for me. This is pressure in my spine. I don't need to lean back quite as far. Great, don't do it. Don't push yourself into sharp or stabbing pain with anything. Okay, we're going to come back up, bring the hands down one more time. We're going to go through it. Okay, so now you know everything, right? You're going to put your weight back on your heels. You bend your knees to whatever is a comfortable position for you. Your hands are back behind you. Your ears are back over your shoulders. So you kind of got that chin tucked still. Don't let it drift forward. Should be looking down toward the floor. Toes should feel kind of active down there. They're trying to grab, but they can't quite because your weight is back on your heels. And try to keep your weight even on both legs. So if you feel like you're shifting, to one side or the other, fix it. All right, we're going to come back up. Hands come up one last time up overhead. Again, weight goes back over the heels. Not so far that you lose your balance. You're going to feel the fronts of those legs really kicking in to try to keep you stable. If you've worked with me for a while, this is why we do those toe up exercises. All right, we're going to bring the hands back down. We're going to pause, step back to our mountain pose. Get your breathing back under control. And we're going to step out into our warrior position to the right. We're going to change how we do it this time. So stepping out to the right. Right foot again, turned fully out. Left foot is going to be on a 45, facing over the right leg. We're going to bend the right knee. We're going to put the right hand forward this time. Left hand is going to be back. I'm looking over my right hand, but I want, again, to be attentive. My right knee should be not in front of my toe. My right knee should not be dropping inward where I can see my whole foot or dropping outward where I can see my foot. It should cover up my foot. Glutes are engaged, toes are grabbing the floor, tummy is engaged. As I say it, I do it all. All right, good. Now we're gonna, for some people, we're gonna straighten out the knee, okay? And we're going to let the back hand, the left hand comes down to the thigh. Right hand is gonna turn palm up and come up overhead, and we're gonna look up overhead. And this is a really good place to work on some balance. Everything else is the same, glutes, core, feet, knees are unlocked. But if you feel like you wanna make it a little harder for yourself, just bend that right knee again. And you can even lean back a little further. Now I'm going to straighten my knee. For people that don't want to bend it, that's fine. And I'm going to bring my right hand back down. So now my right hand is going to go on my right thigh. And my left hand is going to go up over my head. I'm going to face you. And I'm going to come and just lean forward, lean over my right leg. I'm going to keep my knee soft, but but relatively straight. This is your starting position, okay? This is kind of a side angle pose. If you want, you can bend that right knee a little bit. If you want, you can come elbow down to your knee, and then you can really stretch further into it. I'm going to straighten out my knee and straighten out my elbow. Again, if this is where you are, this is great. We're going to come back up to straight, let the hand down. We're going to come back to our mountain pose. Now, as you would probably guess, you have to do the other side too, right? Get your breathing under control for just another moment. And I'm going to step out to the left. I'm going to turn my left foot out, right? My knee just popped when I did that. I turn my right knee on 45, right foot, sorry, on 45. Make sure my toes are engaged, facing over my left. Bend my left knee. Left hand forward, right hand back. And we're going to go back to the same stuff, right? Toes, glutes, tummy, ears over shoulders. Ish. Hard to do when you're facing in a weird position, right? So good for balance, so good for stability, so good for learning how to breathe. A little reminder about your left knee. Don't let it get in front of your toe. You need to keep it less bent. That's fine. Don't let it drop in. Don't let it drop out. Grab the floor with your toes. Now we're going to straighten the left knee like we did with the right. I'm going to put my right hand down on my right thigh. I'm going to turn left palm up, bring it up toward the ceiling. I was going to say sky because it rhymed with thigh. And I'm going to remind you, if this is where you want to stay, this is where you can stay. You want to add difficulty, bend your left knee again. If you want to add a little more and you feel safe doing it, lean back a little further. Now I'm going to go ahead and come back up to straight, straighten out my knee. Left hand is going to go down to left thigh. I'm going to face you. Right hand is going to come up toward the ceiling. I'm going to lean over to my left. I'm not locking that left knee. I don't want you to lock it. Leave it soft. And again, you can stay right here. But if you want to make it a little harder, you can bend the left knee. You can come down to your elbow, and you can really stretch out a little bit further this way. You can see my plants back there getting lots of light. All right, I'm straightening out my knee, putting my hand back on it, supporting myself back up, hand down. We're going to come back to our mountain pose. And I'm going to bring my chair just a hair closer. We're going to do some standing on one leg balance activities. So the first one, we're going to do a version of tree pose. Okay, it's modified. Modified because you keep in a chair just in case. Modified because you can start with your toe touching the floor, and you can turn your foot, your knee, out as far as you can, or if you need to keep it more forward, that's fine too. This is a good starting place. This is a good place for a lot of people to begin, still grabbing the floor with the toes of the right foot. You can move your left foot up as high as you have the flexibility that allows you to do. I'm just going to come down here on my calf just for the fun of it. As I'm here, I'm really engaging these glutes, both to turn out my left leg as well as to stabilize on my right. I'm really engaging my tummy to help me stabilize in a neutral position. You can see I'm still wobbling. I'm really grabbing the floor with my toes. I'm just going to keep my hand on the chair. Ears over shoulders. Posture is huge for balance. Keep those shoulders back if you can, while you keep everything else engaged. All right, I'm going to slowly step out of this one. I want to give you the same alternatives for the other side, right? So you can start back. Toes are just touching the floor, grabbing the floor with the toes of my left foot. I can move my foot up, my leg, to whatever level feels good for me. That's about it for that level of flexibility. But I'm going to creep it back down to my calf. I'm going to squeeze my glutes. Keep that right knee open this time. Left leg engaged. Don't lock my left knee, but grab that floor. Glutes, tummy, shoulders, ears over shoulders. All right, I'm going to step out of that one. The next step in this is easier. We're just going to bring the knee as high as possible toward 90 degrees. 90 degrees at the hip, 90 degrees at the knee. The foot is just relatively passive, but you can pull it up if you want to activate those muscles in the front of the leg. Everything else is the same, not locking the left or the right knee, grabbing the floor with the right toes. Engaging in particular now the right glute. Tummy, shoulders, ears over shoulders. See that my heel occasionally wants to twist in. I'm just going to turn it out. Engages those hip muscles differently. I'm going to bring it down, switching sides. Right leg comes up. Okay. Grab the floor with my left toes. Make sure my left knee isn't locked. Squeezing that left glute. I'm going to go ahead and just keep my foot turned up this time. Trying to look at my positioning in the camera, get it all right there. Tummy, shoulders, ears over shoulders. Don't forget your tummy. Don't forget to breathe. All so integral to balance. Posture. All right, we're going to let it back down. Now I'm going to turn and face my chair this time. I'm going to bring my left leg back and my right hand forward. So we're doing a version of a dancer pose. Now, again, you can start here where you've got your left foot down, right hand is forward. You're just trying to put most of your weight on your right leg. You can come up just onto the tip of your toes. Hand is on the chair if you need it. You can raise that left foot up. You can look up toward your hand. You can touch that toe back down in the back at any time. I'm losing my balance all over the place here. All right, I'm going to put my toe back down, bring my hand down, bring my foot forward, and I'm going to switch. Okay. My right foot is going to go back. Start on my toes. Left hand is forward, palm up toward the ceiling. Engaging tummy, engaging glutes. Unlocking left knee. I'm going to go onto the just tip of my toes. I'm going to lift my right foot up. You can stay in any of these positions. My hand is here for balance. Wobbly as can be today. Oh, almost lost it. That's okay. That's all of us some days, right? Go ahead and put your foot back down. Go ahead and bring your foot forward. We're going to face forward. We're going to take a mountain pose briefly. Check my cue sheet here. Good, and I'm going to take my chair and turn it around. That's what I thought. Good thing I have that memory, but you know. And in fact, I'm going to turn it over here so that you guys can see what I'm doing from a better angle to start off with. I'm going to put my right foot forward, left foot back. I'm going to put my left hand on my chair here, okay? And I want my feet a little bit wider than hip width. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my right hand up toward the ceiling. I'm going to look up toward it, high as I can go, and then I'm going to bring it back down slowly, and I'm going to kind of thread it through and look at you. Okay? I'm going to bring it back up, slowly up and out. Pause at the top this time. You're going to feel lots of things stretching. Try to keep your feet flat on the floor. Toes engaged. Bring the right hand down and under and through. And we're going to go slowly back up and out one more time. Don't forget to breathe. Don't forget your tummy. Don't forget your toes. And one more time, down and under and through. My spine is relatively straight aside from the fact that I'm twisted, right? Good. All right. I'm going to switch. All right. So my left foot is going to come forward a little wider than my chair. My right foot is going to go back. My right hand is now on the chair. Okay. And I'm going to bring my left hand up and out. Make sure I've got my feet flat on the floor, toes are engaged. Come back and under. Hold it under. Look in the opposite way. If there's anyone over there, you can wave at them. There's nobody there, so I'm just waving at the plants. We're going to come up again, left hand up overhead. We're going to pause longer this time. If things pop and crack while you do this, it's fine, as long as there's no pain associated. Do not push into anything that feels a sharp stabbing pain. You've probably heard me say that a lot before. And if you haven't, you will. We're going to come back under. And hold here this time, a little bit longer. One more time, up and out with the left. And one more time, down and under with the left. And we're going to bring it back. We're going to step up and put both hands on the chair. We're going to walk our feet back, okay? And we're going to start in this modified downward dog position. I'm going to bring my feet even further back. My back is going to go very straight and flat. Head should be kind of between my arms. Should feel a big stretch in the backs of my legs, so down all the way down. Now I'm going to shift my body forward. My hands are going onto the sides of my chair. I'm going to come up into a push-up type position. Okay, you can shift your weight as far forward as you possibly feel comfortable. We're going to stay here in this plank position. This is a high plank. We're going to come back to our downward dog. The chair is creaking all over the place. You might be able to hear it. One more time forward into my plank. When I'm in my plank, I'm on my toes. Really want to squeeze those glutes. Really want to squeeze those tummy muscles. Really still want to keep my ears over my shoulders. And one last time back into that downward dog. It feels so good. Palms flat on the chair. Hips way back. Back flat. All right. We're going to do one last thing on the chair here. We're going to turn it to face forward. Everybody can see each other this way. Hands are going to go, well, hands aren't going to go anywhere. Feet are going to go flat on the floor. Now the hands are going to go on your knees. We're going to round down toward the floor, your version of a child pose. I want you to round your body down, come down, at least let your body left rest on your thighs. Easy for me to say. If this feels like it's enough of a stretch for you, just stay right here. But if you want, you can reach your hands down toward the floor as well. Let your head drop down a little further. Remember to breathe. We're going to bring the hands up to the knees. We're going to push ourselves back up. I know I said we were only going to do one thing in the chair, but I think I'll just throw in one last little core thing here for you, and then we'll do one more thing on the with the stretching. So put the feet just out in front of you. Toes are kind of pointed away from you. I want you to bring your hands. We're just going to go hands on the chest. We're going to be right at the edge of our chair. We're going to lean back, spine stays straight. We're not going to touch the chair, just toward it. It's a modified version of both. This is the beginning version, and you only go back as far as you feel like you're comfortable with. Spine is straight, the back is not arching. Good, we're gonna go slowly back up. Now I'm gonna show you a modified version of that. You can stay exactly on that last one if you want to. We're gonna do it again. By the way, I decided to do this because I felt bad not giving you something core related. I know. Anyway, we're going to come back. And while we're here, spine still straight, I can choose to lift up a leg. Good. I'm going to put it back down. Come back up. Have to do the other leg, so we're going to do it again. Back we go. Other leg comes up. Good. Come back up. We're going to do a couple more. You can also make it harder by putting your hands up overhead, so it looks like this. Good. Come back up. Hands back down. And you can make it even harder by doing hands up and one leg up. I'm just going to keep my arms right here. I'm going to do one more, two more, just like this. Good. Come back up. One more time, right back. And back up. Now I'm going to put my feet flat again. I'm going to put my hands in sort of a prayer position. We're going to do little rotations. As we're doing these little rotations, I want you to feel those oblique muscles kicking in. Told you, I felt bad about not giving you core exercises. Although we've been trying to engage the core the whole time. But I just didn't want to leave it out. So last minute, quick decision. Let's throw in a little bit of core. I also looked and felt like I was cheating you on time a little bit, so I just wanted to give you a little bit more that way too. All right, next time we're gonna go, we're gonna hold, we're gonna pause. Really feel those muscles that rotate your spine kicking in and holding. Those oblique muscles along your abdominals. Lots of tiny little rotator muscles along your spine. Keep your ears back over your shoulders. I tend to let my head drift forward when I do this. We're going to come back to the middle. We're going to go to the left. On my left. Excuse me. I let my shoulders relax down there. I'm starting to sneak up toward my ears there a little bit. Come back to the middle. I'm going to go one more each way. Turn to my right in this case. First direction, whatever you want to call it. And back to the middle. And one more time to your second direction. I had to bring my chin down. I'm starting to look up. Chin back down. Ears over shoulders. Shoulders relax. And back to the middle. We're going to go down into that child position one more time, okay? Hands are going to go on the thighs if you want them there. You're going to let your body fold forward, round, round, round toward the ground. You can stop right there on your thighs if you want to. You can bring your hands down toward the floor. And then we're going to put the hands on the knees. We're going to come back up. We're going to turn our whole body over our right leg, both hands on that right thigh. Let our body come down over the right thigh and rest there. And again, you can let your hands down toward the floor, one on either side of the leg. If you want to. And bring your hands back up to your knee. Push yourself back up with your hands. Take in a breath. Let it out, and then turn your body over your left. Same thing. Hands on the leg. Lower yourself down. Let your hands droop down toward the floor if you want to. Hands back up on the knee. Push yourself back up. All right, we're going to scoot all the way back into our chairs. Feet flat. I'm on a higher chair. If you haven't seen me with any of these before, my chair is more what we call a counter height, but who cares? Just feet all the way back. Feet relatively flat on something. Hands are going to rest. Eyes open or eyes closed. We're going to just do 2 deep breaths. We're going to breathe in through the nose and hold for 10 seconds. Let it out and relax. And one more time. In through the nose. Hold for 10 seconds. And out and relax. And that's it for the day. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you come back for more. And if you're looking for some more classes on movement or on lifestyle management, please look to Forte. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you for joining me. My name is Eric.
We here at Forte would like to thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to follow more of the offerings from Forte, please subscribe below. And don't forget to share us with your friends. Enjoy well-being.